Democrats on the House Judiciary Committee responded with shock and indignation when called upon during the questioning of James Comey, director of the FBI, about his decision not to recommend an indictment against former Secretary of State and presidential candidate Hillary Clinton. Really? Does anyone believe that if the shoe were on the other foot, Democrats wouldn't want and need answers for their constituents? Our Constitution and way of life dictate that we should seek the truth and be lovers of the truth, no matter who falls, be it Richard Nixon or Hillary Clinton. One of the main problems many Americans have with this whole mess, which, by the way, Mrs. Clinton brought upon herself when she set up the illegal server in her basement, is the sequence of events in the weeks preceding Director Comey's press conference. They are as follows. In early June, President Obama endorsed Hillary Clinton for president, even though she was under criminal investigation and could possibly be indicted on criminal charges. If she was charged, wouldn't the president look foolish for issuing this endorsement? It appeared to some at the time that the fix was in, or in the least, he already had knowledge of the outcome. Then, a few weeks later, on Monday, June 27th, former President Bill Clinton just happened to be at the same airport as Attorney General Loretta Lynch. His flight just happened to be delayed, and he just happened to stroll over to her plane to say hello. Mind you, it is her department who was conducting the aforementioned investigation of the mishandling of classified material by Hillary during her time at the State Department. And oddly enough, their security forces were instructed to not allow anyone to take pictures. The only way this meeting came to light was due to a tip a local reporter received. A few days later, amid the brouhaha the 30-minute impromptu secret closed-door meeting caused, Lynch apologized and claimed their conversation was social in nature and that she and the former president spoke about grandkids and golf. She further claimed that the investigation into Hillary's emails never came up. And yet, though the meeting was highly irregular and a violation of the basic protocols of her office, she refused to recuse herself from the case, making the bold declaration that she will follow the advice of the career prosecutors and agents who conducted the investigation. 5 days later, Saturday, July 2nd, during the long 4th of July weekend, Hillary Clinton unexpectedly and supposedly voluntarily meets with the FBI to answer questions about the email scandal. She is not put under oath, and no video or transcript of the interview were recorded. It must also be noted that this was the only interview conducted with Mrs. Clinton. Typically, the target of an investigation is interviewed first to have them on record, and then a final interview is conducted to see if their story changes as facts come to light. But again, this was not the case. Then 2 days later, on July 5th, the first workday after the 4th of July weekend. Now let me spell this out for you. The FBI interview was on Saturday. Sunday was a day off. Monday was July the 4th, a day off. And on Tuesday, July 5th, the FBI director, James Comey, holds a 15-minute press conference in which he lays out what appears to be a strong case that Mrs. Clinton's illegal private server did have classified material, which included several long conversations with her staff about the material. He further noted that a few of the emails did have classified markings. He also noted that she didn't hand over all the emails as she had promised, and on it went. Comey's conclusion? Everything Hillary said about the emails, her private server, classified information in those emails was a lie. And to top it off, she was incompetent. He said, and I quote, "There is evidence to support a conclusion that any reasonable person in Secretary Clinton's position should have known that an unclassified system was no place for that information." And though many on both the left and the right, Democrat and Republican, believed a recommendation for indictment was forthcoming, Comey shocked the nation when in the last 2 minutes of his press conference, he said his recommendation would be no criminal charges should be filed. And then, within a few hours, President Obama, who, as already noted, endorsed Mrs. Clinton even while the investigation was ongoing, appeared at a rally with her in North Carolina. Don't you get it? This event had been planned weeks earlier. Again, it was as if the president already knew the outcome. And then on July 12th, a week later, as the Attorney General came before the House Judiciary Committee, her answer to just about every question put to her referred back to her now convenient statement that she would accept the recommendation of the FBI and career prosecutors to determine whether or not charges should be filed. When the Attorney General was asked if she reviewed the evidence the FBI had collected, she said no. She left that up to others due to the meeting at the Arizona airport with the former president, who was also the husband of the target of the investigation. Seriously, folks, does this sound like a series of coincidences to you? Is it just a fluke that the meeting between the former president and the Attorney General happened only 8 days before the Comey press conference? Is it just dumb luck that A.G. Lynch deferred the conclusion of the investigation to the ones who conducted it so she could go before Congress and claim ignorance? Is it a surprise that these events seem to go into warp speed just weeks before the Democrat National Convention? Any rational person would conclude that something is not right, that this appears to be an orchestration, that Comey was somehow compromised. To say it another way, that something is rotten in Washington, D.C.